Welcome back to Vote and Voice. Today we're talking about one of the least glamorous, least Instagrammable words in politics bureaucracy. Just hearing the word makes people sigh. Bureaucracy sounds like a paperwork wearing a suit. It sounds like you're about to stand in line somewhere and slowly question your life decisions. You know, the image. A line at the DMV that somehow moves backward while you age 5 years. Red tape is the unofficial mascot. Literally hundreds of pages of forms you didn't know you needed, all stapled in triplicate. But here's the uncomfortable twist. Bureaucracy is also the reason your social security check shows up. It's why food labels exist. It's why airplanes don't just wing out. It's why we can legally get a fishing license. Imagine no one was organizing any of that. It would likely be chaos. If you think your job is slow, remember somewhere a government worker is reading a 1,000-page law just to figure out what section 642, paragraph 3 of chapters section B actually means. And they're caffeinated. So before we roast bureaucracy too much, let's define it. Bureaucracy is a hierarchical organization built on rules, specialization, and continuity. Hierarchy means someone reports to someone who reports to somewhere else. It's a pyramid. And yes, sometimes it feels like it was designed by someone who really loves meetings. Rules and procedures exist so decisions don't depend on personality. Imagine if tax audits depended on whether the agent had coffee that morning. Specialization is key. Each person focuses on a narrow task. You don't want your local zoning board designing fighter jets. Trust me, it's for everyone's safety. And for continuity, this one matters too. Elected officials come and go, and bureaucrats can stay. When a president leaves office, the Environmental Protection Agency doesn't just vanish. The Department of Transportation doesn't pack up and say, well, guess we're done. They are the immortal spiders of government, quietly making sure nothing collapses when Congress goes on vacation. A sociologist named Max Weber said bureaucracy is rational, systemic, and efficient. But what do they mean by rational, efficient, structured? Did Weber wait on hold for 45 minutes? Can be pretty unclear. But his point still stands. If you're managing millions of people and billions of dollars, you cannot run it like a group chat. So why does bureaucracy exist? Modern government is complicated. Congress passes laws that are hundreds of or thousands of pages long. These laws don't come with step-by-step IKEA instructions. Agencies have to interpret them, translate them, implement them. Think of Congress as writing the outline and the bureaucrats are writing the instruction manual just for the system to run. Because without the bureaucracy, laws would just sit there. Imagine if Congress passes a healthcare reform bill. Great. Who actually writes the forms? Who designs the systems? Who processes the applications? That's bureaucracy. It also provides stability. Imagine if every election wiped out entire departments. New president, new IRS, new president. Rebuild the FAA from scratch. Chaos. Bureaucracy prevents every election from being a factory reset. Of course, bureaucracy has power and criticism. Bureaucrats are unelected. That matters. They have dissurrection. They implement policies. This creates what political scientists call the principal agent problem. You elect representatives, the principals. Those representatives delegate tasks to agencies, the agents, as they have the expertise and sometimes make choices the principals didn't specifically outline. This tension fuels conspiracy theories, a deep state, shadow government. In reality, it's usually just continuity and interpretation, but shadow government sounds cooler. There's also a balancing act. If you restrict agencies too tightly, they can't function. If you give them too much freedom, people worry about accountability. You can't maximize efficiency and oversight at the same time. More oversight, more paperwork, more delays. So, and then too fast is corner cutting. Either way, more bureaucracy. Isn't that iconic, right? So, democracy wants responsiveness. Quick change. End quote. We voted for this. Implemented now. Bureaucracy wants predictability. Process. Review. Stability. Democracy is like the energy, and bureaucracy is the gravity. Too much democracy without structure can feel chaotic, and too much bureaucracy without responsiveness feels stagnant, leading to abuse of power. And that tension is just not a flaw, but it's just built into the system. As today, bureaucracy faces modern challenges. Regulatory expansion, society grows, rules grow, enforcement grows, bureaucracy grows, polarization. Agencies can get dragged into partisan fights, and then the public trust as people complain about bureaucracy while on it daily. Technology, as automation might reduce inefficiency or just digitize your frustration. Instead of standing in line, now you're refreshing a portal that says loading with dots in progress. So here's the final question. What would happen if bureaucracy disappeared tomorrow? No IRS, no FAA, no FDA, no Social Security Administration, no regulatory agencies. Would things move faster? Sure, for about 48 hours. Then these systems can collapse. And then, yeah, bureaucracy is frustrating because it slows things down, but that's exactly why it works. It forces review, creates procedure, reduces arbitrariness. It's not sexy, but it doesn't campaign. It doesn't trend. But it is the invincible infrastructure of modern governance. You can hate it or love it, criticize it, reform it, but you can't realistically remove it. So, definition, can be slow, messy, frustrating, and necessary. And that's tension. And that's politics. Thank you for listening to Vote and Voice. I'll see you next time. Stay tuned for next episode. Da 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 da.